You said you weren't ready. Should we do it again?
Sure. Because I think we're live.
Oh,
Let's do it again.
all right. Here we go. This is the real start of the show.
This is the way.
We're wanted men.
I have spoken.
Welcome to episode 107 of the Smugglers.
108.
108. Jesus, he just told me 108. Welcome to episode 108 of the Smugglers Galaxy podcast. I can't keep up with these. I don't even know why I say them, but every other podcast does them, so I'm going to do it too. We're your favorite Star Wars Galaxy podcast, Smugglers Galaxy. I'm Glenn. With me as always is Jason, and we're back live on Facebook.
Yeah, it's been a week since our last episode.
Right. It felt like 15 minutes to me.
It felt like 15 minutes, but it went by fast.
Yeah.
You pick anything up this week?
No. Nothing. I did watch
Andor?
No. Yes, Andor. I
premiered.
watched all 3 episodes. It was wonderful.
It was
I loved it.
awesome.
I cried. I laughed. I cried.
I like the character of Andor.
Ray, could you imagine? Could you go ahead?
know how he did that thing that affected those stormtroopers? I thought that was really cool.
I thought it was cool that they brought Sabine in it.
Oh my gosh. Yes, and how Hera was right behind her.
Yes, and the
That's
ghost.
awesome.
And wow, could you imagine Ezra was there too? Wow.
No, I did not see that turn coming, although I did kind of figure that it should happen because we're talking about it.
I did I meant to say this a few minutes ago, but I did watch the new Jurassic Park movie on Paramount Plus or whatever, Peacock.
Trevorrow,
weekend.
that's his name. I couldn't remember it last week.
Who?
The director, Trevorrow.
Oh, it was decent, but like everybody keeps saying, man, there was not enough dinosaurs in it. I wanted more dinosaurs, and it turned out to be, I don't know, more. I don't want to say political movie, but it felt like it was like
It's like
take
a
care of the
corporate
world.
movie.
Yeah, corporate movie. But you saw who made a guest appearance in it, right?
T-Rex.
Nobody-
Yeah, that was awesome. Oh, Sabine was in it.
Sabine was in it. I was like,
That was
"There's
awesome.
Sabine."
That was awesome.
my wife's like, "That's who playing Sabine," so that was kind of cool. She was. In it
Oh,
for
I was
about-
joking around. I meant the character Sabine. The actress is in it.
The actress that plays
Natasha?
Sabine is in Jurassic World
Oh
or
wow.
World Domination. She's the lady in white
Dominion.
that has the laser pointers.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah, you thought I was joking, but no,
I
I was
was.
serious.
I
The
was.
actress
I was
that
going to
played
go with
Sabine
it
was
too.
in it. But it always comes back to Rebels for me. You know that.
Yeah, and Grand Admiral Thrawn was there too, talking to the dinosaurs. That was awesome.
Yeah, he was. And I don't like those characters that are just really calm, like the main bad guy, and he's just like monotone all the way through.
That's Thrawn.
Yeah.
You-
Is that the guy there really? I thought they were gonna get Pierce Brosnan to play Thrawn.
Wait, what's this rumor? Pierce Bronson?
From
I think
the-
you're talking about Daniel Craig is playing Thrawn.
Oh, I don't. No, but don't you remember the mural from
I'm
Chicago?
Timothy
The
Dalton is
Chicago-
also playing Thrawn too.
Who is?
Timothy Dalton. I'm just going with all the Bonds.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of that joke.
And
All the
Isaac-
living Bonds.
Yes, they're all gonna come back. But no, in the Chicago, they had that big mural, Chicago Celebration, and
Yes.
Thrawn looked just like Pierce Brosnan.
I didn't pick up on that. I have to go back and look at my photos.
Yeah. Go look at it.
Interesting.
It is.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, I
So you
picked
wanna
up
talk about-
all the micro machines
You
All
picked
of
up
them.
every single
Every single one of
micro
them.
machine, all the hard copies. You've got all the hard copies of all the play sets.
Yeah, they're all there. First shots, hard copies, wax sculpts. I don't know if they made them, but I have wax sculpts now of those. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, wait.
What?
Grand Theft Auto 6 leaked game footage. I'll have to save this one for later. Hello.
Yeah, I've never.
Oh, it's
I
been
liked playing-
removed. Oh,
Did somebody remove it? Looked pretty. I saw him real quick. I just glanced over. It looked like real life, dude. Like live action stuff, not a video game.
what?
They
What
had
was the character
hookers
like?
and I don't know. I didn't. All I saw was a hooker.
And Sabine. I'm sure Sabine's in the game too.
Yes, it
Um,
looked good, but I just kind of glanced up. It looked like Grand Theft Auto 5, but done better.
Oh, okay. That should be a good game then.
Or was that Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PS4? That was
That was the last one.
that it was in Miami. Has it been that
No,
long
that's
since they
Vice.
released?
That's
Vice
a
City.
long one. Vice City. That's a long
Oh.
time ago.
I
'Cause
tried
there's-
playing Vice City. It was fun, but then when you start doing missions over and over again, I got bored with it.
Vice City was fun because there was one place where I could go hide out and use cheat codes to get all the weapons, and you just wait for tanks and police cars to show up, and you would just keep launching things, and they couldn't hit you, but you could hit them. And so you would get the 5 stars, and then you could use the cheat code again to get rid of all those stars. And it's funny because you would get the 5 stars, and you have helicopters who couldn't touch you. You got tanks shooting at you; they couldn't touch you. You'd use the cheat code, and then they would just stop, get in their car, and drive off. It's fun. It was fun. But
Goodness.
anyways, anywho,
So
what's
yeah,
new?
nothing. We're all good here.
Well-
Only thing really new that is the HasLab thing that we hadn't touched on yet. The new
Yes,
HasLab Ghost Rider.
yes, yeah. So HasLab's released a new Ghost Rider Hell vehicle, Hellcar. What is it called? I don't care. It's not Star Wars. And I'll just be honest. And it's $350. It does have some electronics in it for lighting. Comparing that to the Snowspeeder, which is $120 with a figure, and here you're getting this HasLab for $350. It's like, are they folding in the developmental costs into that $350 amount? Because I would think, I mean, with the electronics, it should just be like $250. So are they getting greedy or what?
Or either that or they know they're going to throw a ton of stuff at it.
Well,
I'm trying to find it to
If
see what.
it's 9,000 backers, $350. If they hit all 9,000 backers by Friday, February 23rd, which was for the listener last Friday, you get a bonus figure. So it's almost like they're trying to entice people to back right away. They're changing strategies a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, it's not the Ghost Rider I'm used to. I know he looks more like because doesn't he should have like a skull face and it looks like he's got like a mask or something on.
Yeah, it's like he's got a mask covering his skull. He looks more like Doctor Doom to me, as somebody who doesn't like pay attention to Ghost Rider comics, which is weird.
I mean, it's good on them if they want to try making stuff, but I mean, I don't even feel like looking it up. I know last time I checked, I think it was like 3,500,
Yeah, something like that.
35,000 or something, 3,500 backers.
Currently on, let's see, this is Sunday the 18th. It's got 3,600 backers with 43 days left. The target is $9,350. Does come with functional wheels. I guess wheels roll. It comes with like extra engines.
Ooh,
Yeah,
you mean
imagine
wheels
that
that roll?
o-
Wow.
on a car. It's got wheels that pop out. It's got lighting, and so you can change out the wheels. You can change out the engine, so it's like on fire. It's very detailed and it's a very cool looking thing. I just $350. Like, where have they learned nothing? There's got to be it can't be greed. There's got to be something we don't know going on.
Yeah. I mean, I know everything's going up nowadays, but I mean, you were saying that you think it'd be like 150 to 200 on that? Maybe.
I'm
or
2 to 250 if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I mean, with the electronics, it's just they got to be folding developmental time and molds into that 350 cost.
yeah.
It just seems like a lot for a car and a figure. I mean, Galactus was how much? 350, wasn't it?
I think 350 is like their standard.
And that was huge. And I don't know.
I mean, to be in all fairness, it is a 6-inch sized car, so the thing's going to be huge.
Yeah, but the like I was saying, I mean, how much has changed in the past couple of years? The snow speeder was $120, which you still need to track
Yeah.
down. I don't have one of those, but
I've got one.
yeah, but it's not in the box. You're not selling it. So
No,
Mm.
at this point, it's like if anything would, I don't know. Some things I'm willing to let go. That may be one of them. I don't know. It's sitting on my floor right next to my TIE fighter that I'm like, why? The TIE fighter is awesome just because it's so huge.
yeah.
But that snow speeders are one of my favorite vehicles. So that's why I bought it.
So
And I got it for like 100 with the loop. So I got a good deal on it. But anywho, yeah, no, and I could see with the electronics are great. Or is it just one big light that they're able to hook everything up to? Tony Johnson says Galactus was $400.
okay. Thank you, Tony.
So is it something that they're hooking up? Because I know some of those games, like with the crap, they did some 6-inch Black Series things that were more like statues, and you can hit a button and the whole thing lit up, but it was one light source. So is that the same thing where they can build it in to where that's one light source, but it's going to all these places?
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Those are $50. So that's $30 to the electronics
Yeah,
and the scene, the setting.
right. Those were really $50. Jeez.
Yeah, I never bought it for $50. I always got it on clearance, but the original MSRP was $50 on those pieces. It was although I didn't get the Kylo Ren. I got Darth Vader, who was busting through the door
Mhm.
on 10-4. Luke Skywalker on Hoth, kind of with his lightsaber. There was a Rey, wasn't there?
I believe so.
And then a Kylo Ren who was holding out his hand. I didn't get the Rey or the Kylo Ren now that I think about it.
Yeah, I had them at one time. I don't know where they are now. I don't know if I still have them displayed or if I put them in my closet to sell.
But again, it's my understanding that Hasbro will do something like that to kind of block other companies from getting a license for that. So if someone was trying to do a 6-inch statuette scenario, Hasbro can tell Disney, nope, we've already done that. That's ours. So that could have been that could fall in that category, just like the Hyper Reel. I believe that was part of that. If someone was trying to do a 7 or 8-inch Sideshow collectible style thing, and Hasbro made that just to block someone else from developing that.
And you can get them for $30 at Ollie's.
Could have.
Dude, I do have a complaint, man. I don't know if like a few weeks ago I got a Diamond Select Gambit
Okay.
figure from the Legion Con.
Yeah, you have to talk
I
about
opened it
this
up.
section in Cajun accent, so continue.
Oh yeah, sure. But so I bought it and
Why'd you stop?
I don't know, man, because I can't do a good Cajun accent, man.
You're from
And
there.
I could make it. I know, but I lost. Dude, I got made fun of for my accent. I
All
had
right,
to-
I'll let it go then.
So anyway,
It's a safe space.
I gotta call my mama. Actually, she called me yesterday. I need to call her, but anyway, that'll get it going. Anyway, long story short, I opened that thing up and man, it smelled like smoke. I have never had a figure that the packaging doesn't smell like smoke, but when you open it up, it was just like.
It could be
There's
the
a bunch of
plastic
smoke.
they use.
Really? No, it was smoke. It was bad, but
No, it could be degassing in the plastic. That's essentially what happens to the plastic in all these figures. It's releasing gases, and that's how it deteriorates.
Huh.
So I know some of those Diamond Select figures use like a more rubbery bendable. Is that how it feels?
I'd have to go get it. I didn't pay that
Yeah,
close
I
of
think-
attention.
I think that's what it is. I don't think it's actual smoke. I think it is degassing of the plastic.
Well, that's interesting because I don't know. I think it's a 4 or 5 year old figure.
Yeah, even more so. Yeah. I mean, it's just been sitting in a plastic bubble for 5 years, probably collecting gas.
I'll have to go get it, but it's in the other room. And
Yeah.
I know people said that we don't edit the episodes, but they love it when I go grab something and they're like, "What's Glenn going to do?"
I mean, if you want to, it doesn't have to. It's not Star Wars, so forget. It's not Sabine, so
Yeah.
let's move on.
Oh, it's Gambit. He's my favorite X-Men. Yeah, I think I might chase one of the first release. No, the freaking
no.
the
You're getting into
books.
comics now?
I don't know, dude. They're expensive. It's a lot of money for something that sits behind a piece of plastic that all you can do is say, yes, I have the first episode of, thing of Gambit. But I did see, I know we talked about how comics are totally different than toys, and how like when they start releasing a show, it feels like a lot of people are going back and because they did like some werewolf show.
Yeah, Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night. They announced that show, and sure as heck, as soon as that show's announced, people are starting to sell their Werewolf by Night comics. So it feels like a totally different game, comics versus toys, because they've got source material with comics that they don't do with toys. Or at least that's my thought of it.
Yeah. Man Thing is supposedly in that too. So if you have Man Thing #1, that's going to be the next one to pop. Or you might want to buy it so you can grade it and sell it later.
Yeah, maybe. It seems like that happens a lot.
Yeah, it's just a world I'm not getting into.
Yeah, freaking comics. I know it would be a rabbit hole for me, and then I have no way of displaying them. It's going to sit in a box. I did go through my short box with my grandson the other day, and I found the first Gambit, like from the early 90s that I had. So, but then you're going through your box and you're like, why'd I buy all these? Because it was the same thing. You're speculating in the early 90s and everybody did it, so they're worthless. And I have a stack like 2 or 3 inches of the Death of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always fun. Everybody laughs. I'm like, I've got Death of Superman. They're like, yeah, you and everybody else.
Yeah, me too. Anywho,
yeah, I'm not gonna get into comics. Just the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Actually, what happened, I know, because when Marvel started doing all the Star Wars comics, my wife looked at me. She goes, "You got 2 choices, toys or comics." I went, "I'll take toys."
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because comics, I mean, you touch them, they start deteriorating. You might accidentally bend a page. Like, it's not worth getting into that.
Well, I was kind of reading the stories and stuff, and you realize how much it takes to stay with the storyline. And it was going to be my toy budget. It was like, you have a budget for one thing.
Yeah. I remember Death of Superman, reading those, and then there was crossover episodes, and it's like, to read what happens, read Green Lantern, something. I'm like, wait, what? And it was like a week later that I finally got to read the comic, so it wasn't available in the comic book shop anymore because this is pre-internet.
Yeah.
But whatevs.
So.
Ted's trying to finish it. Go ahead.
Huh? No,
Go ahead.
Ted's saying that he's looking to finish his original Marvel, and those prices are going crazy. Star Wars run, his original Marvel Star Wars run, and they're pretty insane right now.
Some of those key issues are pretty expensive, like #1, first appearance of Boba Fett, the one issue with all 4 of the bounty hunters on the cover. Those are worth a pretty penny. So.
Yeah. I mean, the only comics I have is I've got that one Boba Fett, that black Boba Fett cover where he's the figure. What?
He's in disguise, right?
He's in disguise. The black.
I don't know
Boba
who that
Fett
is.
But he's how they did the ones where they look like vintage figures, those covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did a black Boba Fett one that Mandy bought that thought it was a
Yes.
figure.
Yes.
And then I have like the last Marvel, or not Marvel. Is it Marvel? From the first run.
Marvel did
I've got
those.
the last one. Huh?
Marvel did those.
Okay, well, like the from the set from the 80s,
Yeah,
that run.
yeah.
Got that one.
Yeah.
And a couple of Bill and Ted that somebody gave me.
Bill and Ted comic books.
Yeah, like
Excellent.
the #1 copies.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Bogus.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So you want to get into the topic? I mean, it's going to be a short episode because
We'll be fine. But we wanted to talk our exit plans, because I mean, we're in our 40s. You know, we've got maybe 15, 20 years left of enjoying this stuff. And
Speak for
you know,
yourself.
I don't know, maybe 65. I'm thinking 65, 70, and then it'll be time to get out. So,
Yeah.
or at least at that time where you can be cognizant enough to have the time to get rid of your collection in a timely manner, and take your time getting rid of it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. So we've kind of been wanting to talk about it, and exit plans. When is the time to sell? Is it now the time to sell where, we can actually take this money and go on a really awesome vacation or buy a really cool car, or do we just sit on it for another 20, 30 years?
Yeah. I
don't know.
told myself, when I retire, that's when I will do something with that Salacious Crumb first shot.
Yeah.
So I guess that's
But
my exit plan, is that when it comes time to retire, it's time to let go of the pieces that I have, and whatever the price of the market is, that's just what the price of the market is.
Yeah.
So if I'm selling Power of the Force 2 for $10 instead of $5, then so be it. That's just part of it.
Well, the
Shame
Power
on,
of the Force 2 stuff, man.
shame on me for holding on to it for 40 years.
Well, my singer he looked at me the other day and he goes, "Why are Power of the Force 2? They're more expensive when they're loose than when they're in the packaging."
Is that
Is
true?
what he's finding. I haven't looked, but he thinks it's because none of us want to open our toys. So you're going to pay more for something that's loose, so you don't open, even if it's the Power of the Force 2 stuff.
That doesn't make any sense to me, because
It-
I can go into a second chance and buy a bunch for $5, open it and flip it for 10.
That's what he's claiming, but I haven't. Maybe I need to look at it.
Maybe I do
Maybe
too.
it's time to go buy a bunch of stuff at second chance and open them and
Yeah.
flip them back at him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I guess that's what I mean, I wish Tim was on, because Tim Connors' plan is to retire and open up a shop and just sell the pieces off like in an antique store or something. And
he's got enough of it, man.
yeah, he's got enough for a store. And I'm sure I wonder if that's something I should do. Open up an Etsy shop, an eBay shop, or just come to a Georgia Alliance of Star Wars Collectors meetup and dump a box on the table and say, let's talk.
Right. Or just open up your house and be like, it's a sale. It's a yard sale.
I mean, I could go the other way and just say, bury me with Salacious. He dies with me.
You could.
We deteriorate together.
How much did that hard copy go for? Did it sell? That was on
It
Deal
did
or No
not
Deal?
sell. And I've been trying to figure out ways to get that. And I've not come up short.
Yeah. Well, with last time I saw it, it was like a 5K, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
I think that's getting close to the selling point, but I don't think it's there yet. So
It's a lot of money, dude,
it's a
for
lot.
one little bitty 1-inch piece.
The hard copy, I mean, whatever.
It's a vintage hard copy. I mean, and that's your character. That's your
Yeah,
guy.
that's my guy. But as of right now, that's not happening.
Mhm.
Tony says it would increase prices for everyone if I buried myself with the Salacious. So I'm
Are
doing
you
the hobby
saying-
a favor. Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I know, like if something happens to me tomorrow, my wife knows who to reach out to. And I've said that, I've said it plenty of times, but I think as in the community, we've all got each other's backs to where if something was to happen, they know everybody's significant other
Yeah.
knows at least to reach out to the community, and we could, definitely help out with that. There was a big sale in Gwinnett a few months ago that's what happened. The guy had been collecting for years, and when he passed away, his wife reached out to the community, and the guy that organized that was helping her. He was making money, she was making money, everybody was happy at that time, and there's apparently a whole ton of stuff that's still sitting in that collection. I mean, that's something to look into. I know personally, if something happens to my house, my collection is insured. That way I can at least attempt to rebuild. but you know
Yeah.
how with the way pricing is, I don't know if I ever could rebuild my collection. If something,
something were to happen to the house, I'm out.
yeah, I think I would be too. I think I'd take that money and run.
Knock on wood. But if something were to happen to me, I would definitely tell my wife to lean on the community to sell the pieces to fair market and help someone get something they don't need, but don't just give pieces away. Like
Right.
I want to make sure the family's taken care of. You're not going to get a lot from my collection, but make sure that they're not getting ripped off. But at the same time, they don't need the top dollar on those pieces.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys, I know I've discussed a little bit just for insurance purposes, so we kind of know what our stuff's worth, or at least you got a good guesstimate. Did you and your wife have like a spreadsheet?
I have a website, so they could be
Oh.
able to send the website to people. Which reminds me, I haven't updated that thing in a while.
Where
gotta
I'm
get
in
on
the
that.
same boat, dude. I'm in the same boat with the spreadsheet. It's been like 3 or 4 years, and prices have. I mean, we already overguessed the pricing, but right now it's time to redo it because everything's insane.
Yeah. It doesn't have pricing. It's just like I have this, I have that, I don't have this, I don't have that. It's like opening cards. Got it, need it, got it, need it. So but yeah, I think that's my plan, is to retire from everything, from work and from the hobby. And then also if anything happens in the meantime, have the Georgia Alliance of Collectors, Star Wars collectors, help sell the pieces.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same boat for me. I think part of me is like, if we ever move from this house, unless I had a big, go bigger and want to do a collecting room and do it right. Then at that time, if I moved and had no desire to move to collection, that would be the time, another option for me. But I don't ever see I enjoy this, and I don't ever really foresee that happening unless, I am kind of going through pieces now. And I know, like, I've got the Cincinnati trip coming up that, there's going to be collectors there, and there's room sales, and there's going to be the opportunity to have like a captive audience to sell stuff. So you kind of are going through things there, but then it's like, I really don't want to sell. There's not a whole lot I can sell right now,
Yeah.
I mean, is that something you ever do?
No, I don't sell. I buy what I want, then I hoard it.
Yeah.
Although
But it's more like I can get more money to buy more stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was doing, looking around my room for that hard copy, but there's not enough there's not enough pieces in my room that'll get me that hard copy.
You
Like,
could sell
can
your
I walk to
sale
work?
barge. Huh?
Can I walk to work?
Do you want to work?
Can I walk to work?
Oh, walk to work. Yeah.
I mean, the sail barge, you get about 3. That's getting me in the right direction, but I'm not there yet. And plus, are people really buying it for 3? That's what people are asking.
I think people are selling it between 15. Probably about 15 is a good landing point on that sail barge.
Yeah, I don't think I'm
15 to
going to
2.
get 3.
And it also stinks when you try doing that and you're like, oh yeah, my stuff's all this worth all this money, and nobody wants it.
We forgot to mention that HasLab, there was you could buy up to 5 of them.
That's a lot, dude.
Yeah, that's
I think
scalper
that's what kind of
territory.
got. Yeah, I think that's kind of what got the what's it called, Razor Crest funded. Was people, I knew people that were buying, were getting together with friends and like splitting the cost of a few of them to make money. And now that Razor Crest, I mean, I know I've seen them in stores and stuff for 1,000, but I think you're getting 5 to 7 on that Razor Crest.
Right.
Depending on where you are and how bad you want to sell it. I think people are putting on at shows, they're putting 7 and taking 5 on the last day if somebody shows up with cash.
Ted said that he saw a sail barge, an open one, sell for $2,500. I wonder if that's with yak face or if that's just the barge itself.
Yeah,
but still, yeah. There's less numbers of the sail barge than there is of the Razor Crest, and I see rumors pop up every now and then about reselling the sail barge, and I just don't think that's going to happen because the price to create the molds are just so much more expensive than they were. back then
Uh-huh.
that it's just going to cost too much money to redo the sail barge. I think it's done.
Did they destroy the molds?
No, molds get ruined over time.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's a big piece of plastic.
yeah,
It's I regret not buying, not regret, but every now and again, it's like, I wish I had that, but I have no room to display it.
it's an awesome piece. It's an incredible piece.
Yeah. Well, that
I like
Razor,
it a lot.
yeah, the Razor Crest is pretty crazy, dude.
Well, Ted said it was with Yak Face. It sold for $2,500.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's not going to get me Salacious Crumb.
Get you halfway there, or not even halfway
Not
there.
even halfway there. I can't even do pay. Will you take $50 a month for the next 12 years? There's a payment
Yeah,
plan.
man. Why not?
Sure.
Somebody would.
But not me. But yeah, I don't know. What's is that it? Is that it
I
for
mean,
the-
and there's also go ahead. What?
Is
What?
that it for the exit plan?
Yeah, no, it is kind of, you were like, short episode, we're going to do this. I'm retiring in 20 years, and that's when I'm going to do it. And it's like, there goes the episode. Thanks, Jason. I mean, as far, and there's worry to me because it's like, will people want this stuff when, in 20 years? Because look at the GI Joes, the 12-inch Joe guys. Those things, you're selling it to other collectors of 12-inch Joes. So you're a bunch of old guys selling it to another bunch of old guys. There's nobody, they haven't cultivated the community, then that community is dying, I think.
Yeah, I don't think for me it's a question of will this stuff be wanted? Yes, I think it'll be wanted in 20, 30 years. It's just the price. Will people be willing to pay $28,000 for a 12 back A graded?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
And then I don't even know if that piece would last another. You think a 12 back is going to last another 20 years?
Probably not. At some point, it's going to pop.
Yeah.
Pieces are going to pop off of it. Figures are going to degrade. I mean, I was at PowerCon and I saw one of those sand people with the dark brown cape and it was fuzzing, and it's just like, we don't know why it's happening, but it's happening.
No me gusta Alfonso. He just asked if we are going to start speaking Spanish.
No, not well.
I don't-
If we do,
that's all I know in Spanish, dude.
yo soy muy romántico. Did that last time, but yeah, it's gonna degrade, and the question is, I guess it's like Russian roulette. How long are you willing to hold on to something, and it's just gonna pop before your eyes. Tape is like I bought that Imperial Commander. The tape had popped and the gun dropped from it, and the tape is degrading, and it's just gonna happen. So I mean, do you want to wait 20 years? I think that's another question. Do you want to wait 20 years to sell your pieces because it might not be around? It might not be in the
Right.
condition. And so you lose right then and there $5,000 because the blaster fell from the tape.
Yeah. Well, David Quinn said it best: when that tape falls, that's 5 points on a grading scale.
Yeah.
When
Grading. Yeah, we're going
Yep.
back to grading.
going back to grading, but yeah, I mean, think about it. If it drops 5 points, it's a big deal. If you're going to sell it, buy an 80 versus an 85, and there's people that look at it that they'll look at a graded figure and be like, "Oh, the tape fell," and that's a ding on that figure. So yeah, you do have to think about it. I think. Yeah, that's another.
Yeah.
When
people-
is this stuff going to deteriorate? I mean, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I've got a price in my head for this stuff. And if somebody walks in and says, I'll give you this, you'd be silly not to go take it.
No, I was just wondering out loud, are we trying to recapture the magic of our childhood and trying to get a min on card because that's how they appeared in the store? We want it to look as fresh as possible. Does that die with this generation? Because they didn't grow up feeling that nostalgia, and they're not going to have that nostalgia. So I don't know.
I can probably say, yeah, it will die unless you've got people like our kids that oh, my dad collected this stuff, I'd like to collect it too, or he always wanted to have a 12 back and could never afford it, so it's my turn. I can, do the legacy. And it's not, I mean, think about old cars. I mean, old cars, they rust and stuff, but you can rebuild those things. You can't really rebuild toys.
Right. I don't
Because
know.
once a
who's to
bubble
say?
pops, the bubble's popped.
Yeah, it's gone. Ted says that brings up an interesting point in grading. As these figures start to deteriorate, at what point does a graded figure need to be reassessed? I don't know if it needs to be reassessed. Maybe it does. Something, it gets graded as with a clear bubble, and then 5 years later it just starts to yellow or starts to turn into that amber color. Obviously, when it was graded, it doesn't say that anymore, and so what you see doesn't reflect the grade. And I think that's just up to the buyer at that point. Do you want to buy a piece that's been graded this, but it doesn't reflect that anymore? Because then you're not buying that grade anymore. I think you're just buying that figure.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's up, like Jason said, it's up to the buyer. At that point, yeah, let's say you buy a card that's got, or a mint-on card has been graded and the figure pops out the bubble, then okay, it was an 85, now it's a 50. And don't quote me on that, but once I don't know what the
Quote it, take
grading-
it to the bank. It's on all the websites now.
our 10 people that listen to us will be like, he said it drops 30 points when I don't know what it drops when the figure pops the bubble, but that at that point, I would think either you can't say it's an 80 anymore because it popped the bubble. And that's the one thing that scares me going, buying a graded carded figure is, when is that bubble going to pop? Especially, if it's shipping and stuff, because there's no protection. Now people are protecting the bubble, but 5-6 years ago, they weren't protecting the bubble on a graded card. And that sucker could pop at any moment, especially if it's handled wrong in shipping. So yeah, I don't know. It all depends on the people, man. But I would agree that you need to watch if you're going to buy something graded, if there's a major flaw in it that needs to be discussed at the time of purchase. And it's up to you if you want to get it regraded. Do you want it regraded? Do you want to spend $100 to get it regraded, knowing it's going to get a lesser grade?
To each their own, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think video games is the next place to grow as a hobby.
Yeah.
I think we're just seeing the start of video games being graded. I think people played with toys, and when they stopped and they put down their toys, they put in video games. So I do think that video games is the next place that'll grow. And if you have a card, and I think that's going to stick around for a while. I think video games are here for 200-300 years. We're just at the dawn of video games. And I think if you get things graded now, those are going to last. And things will be demagnetized, and it's not going to be a useful cartridge anymore. But to have it graded, to have it in pristine condition 40-50 years from now, I think that's going to be more valuable than as it degrades than an action figure as it degrades, because it's more visible when an action figure degrades.
Right.
My 2 cents.
I don't know where I was thinking of like coins and stuff, because coins, I mean, I guess because they're metal, the money doesn't really degrade like the plastic will, but people are still collecting in stamps. People are collecting stamps from 100 years ago, stamps and coins. So are our toys going to be the next stamps?
I don't know about that, because that's a niche thing. That's not part of pop culture. People are like, what do I want to collect? Maybe coins. It's not like, I grew up with coins. I love coins. I want to collect coins. Get graded coins. Let's get that coin. And it's just not to throw shade at anybody who collects coins. No, I just don't think it's part of the pop culture in our history.
Mm-hmm.
But what do I know?
We're just a bunch of lonely toy collectors.
Speak for yourself.
I'm not lonely, but
I'm lonely and depressed. Not just lonely. I'm trying the yes and approach to improv When you say something,
Right.
yes, and this. Don't just like
And that,
shut it
okay.
down. So I'm not really lonely and depressed. That's a yes and thing when it comes to improv. Just just to clarify that I'm not gonna go cry in the corner after this episode's done.
Yes, you will.
Well, I'm trying to end this on a positive note. I don't know if we're ending it. How long have we been recording?
I don't know. You should have the time.
I have a time of 30 minutes, but I think I started it late. How do you tell?
Yeah, well, it should be like in the upper right hand corner or something. Upper right
Yeah,
hand, upper left
not
hand.
there. It's not there. I don't know. What else do you want to talk about?
It's 40. Well, the thing is 40 minutes ago is when we went live. So what I don't know. You think you think your kids are gonna want to hold on to this stuff?
No, I don't. I'll tell you right there. I don't think 12-inch Joes. What is he talking about? What's Tony saying? Like 12-inch Joes. What were we talking about, Tony?
I remember stuff. I remember coin and stamp collecting being huge when I was a kid. It's not so big anymore, like 12-inch Joes.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. I mean, I think if Star Wars is going to stay in pop culture like it is for the foreseeable future, just like Disney. I mean, because Disney owns it and they've got 2 theme parks and a hotel themed for them, that it's going to be next 50 to 100 years. I think Star Wars is still going to be around. So that means this stuff there's still going to be, hopefully still be a market for this stuff.
They need to start folding in, and they're trying this. They have a new show coming on Disney Junior, I think, of Little Jedis.
Oh, really?
That's not what it's called. But they're still trying to develop the next generation of Star Wars fans and to get them as a toddler and to grow them. You know, that's going to be the thing that works. I think that's why they have this Skeleton Crew show that's coming up on Disney Plus, which takes place during the time of the Mandalorian. But it is about kids getting lost in the galaxy and trying to make their way home.
That's awesome. I didn't know that they were doing that because my grandson was all in like PJ Masks.
Yes.
And now he's like, I don't like PJ Masks. I like Spider-Man and his amazing friends. And it's the same damn show, but instead of it being PJ Masks, it's Spider-Man.
Right.
And I'm like, this is the same show as PJ Masks, dude. He goes, yeah, but it's Spider-Man. And I love Spider-Man.
Right. So there might be a drop off. The ones that like the prequels, that might be the drop off after that. You know, there's not the marketing push that there was around the sequel trilogy. You're not going to get all your figures, you know, like the prequels and the Clone Wars. That whole era, there was a big fan base, and when that generation dies off, I worry that's when Star Wars might die off. So they need those younger kids to get in there. Young Jedi Adventures. Thank you, Alfonso. That's the name of the show.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. It'd be like a PJ Masks kind of show, but with Jedi.
No, I mean, because my grandkids they're 5 and 7 or whatever. No, he'll be 7 this year, but 5 and 6. So
I should say gracias, Alfonso.
but I mean, and it's really cool because I don't know, but like my grandson will get in the car and he's like, I want to listen to music. It's like, what do you want to listen to? Mandalorian. He wants to listen to the Mandalorian theme and stuff. And I found Closed on Sundays, and we were listening to that all day yesterday. And I look back and he's just like staring off into space. I'm like, dude, what's up? He's like, oh, this is how I look when I concentrate on stuff. I'm like, what are you concentrating on? He goes, the music. I'm like, awesome.
The lo-fi stuff?
The lo-fi stuff and I had found like because Spotify's got the soundtrack. So we were listening to like the Mandalorian soundtrack until I found Closed on Sundays, which was all the lo-fi stuff. And we were enjoying the heck out of that yesterday, driving around. Tony's just imagine the world in 20 years when the fans of the sequel trilogy come of age.
I don't think that's going to happen, though. They may be fans, but they don't have the collectability because Hasbro really wasn't supporting that. We talked about this 2 weeks ago where the lines diminished in the number of figures that they released, whereas to the point where the Rise of Skywalker didn't have any figures to support it. They had a couple vintage collection figures, but that's more for me. That's not for the 6-year-olds who they say that these 5-point articulation figures are for.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not building that collectability community, collecting community. Yeah, too many C's, collecting community.
Do you think that maybe why they went back with the retro line is because for people? Was it more for
That's
people
for
like us or
us.
for the?
That's
Yeah.
for us. Yeah. And it's also the trend. I mean, like Reaction and Super 7, they're making all those figures, and that's just part of the trend. And again, Hasbro's like, we want some of that money.
Right. Because I've got a bunch of the Back to the Future. I don't have all of them, but I've got a good chunk of them.
Yeah.
Still mint on card because I don't want to open them suckers.
I was trying to think of a joke. Give me all this crap for not opening, and then look at you not opening them.
I know.
Open those figures.
I did, dude. I made because Michael J. Fox and Timothy Lloyd's going to be in New York, and I tried making a plea to go up there, and I got shot down real fast
You know.
because I when you figure out flights and hotels, and it's on a Saturday, and yeah, you're spending $1,000. Well, to do like the upper tier stuff, which to me would probably be worth it because what they're doing now is all the Comic-Cons or the New York Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. I guess they're all owned by the same company. So when they'll do like a Back to the Future panel with them, and then you pay to get it like priority seating in that panel.
Mhm.
And then you pay to get autographs, and you pay to get, because you'll pay like $1,000, let's say, and you get priority seating in the panel. You get an autograph, you get a picture with both of them, and then you get an autograph picture with both of them. And then you get something, but it was just like a lot of freaking money. And then you got to pay $500 to get into Comic-Con. On top of flying up there, and on top of, so it'd be $2,000 to $3,000 proposition.
One thing I did want to mention, Action Figure 411, they track pricing of Star Wars action figures, the modern stuff, and they use eBay as a methodology to track prices. And so Micro Galaxy Squadron has appeared on that website, and the prices are all above retail, I think. And it's like I can walk into any store and get almost any figure I want. So the Falcon right now is, the average is $49 and it's retailed $44. The Razor Crest is the Razor Crest, I've been talking too much this morning, is $46. That's $30 in retail. The Boba Fett Starship is $56. That's $30 in retail. I can walk to any Walmart drive to any Walmart. I sold my car to buy the Salacious Crumb. That's why I'm walking to Walmart. But that's $56. Imperial Troop Transport, $36. It retails for $22. The TIE Fighter, Outlander TIE Fighter Moff Gideon ship is $50. That was normally $16.99. Darth Vader, to compare it, was $16.99. Darth Vader's TIE Advance, that's $23. When you go through the chases, you've got the ATST chase, that's $26. The TIE Fighter, why is it saying TIE Fighter Black? Because it's the white one that's the chase. Oh, it's $87. The prices are
For the white TIE Fighter?
for the white TIE Fighter.
Jeez.
The ATST Raider, which is the chase, it's $50.
I saw one of those the other day at Target, and I should have picked it up if I'd have known it was going for $50.
The where's the X-Wing? Luke's X-Wing. That's $72. That chase. Going through this, Asajj Ventress was $22. So that's really just a $9 addition to the retail. The translucent, the 1 in 500, is selling for $167. But you'll see people on eBay asking $500 for it. Good luck.
Yeah. That's probably the only one, if I really, really wanted it, that I'd have paid a premium for, just because it's the number's so low on it.
Yeah. So for the blind packs, for the most part, everything's selling for $6 or $10, somewhere between there. IG-11 is selling for $23. Cobb Vanth, it's not showing anything. Speeder bike with the Scout Trooper is selling for $60. $55.60. That's the one with Grogu.
Wow.
But it's going there. People are asking as high as $162, but I would say, $50. So if you have everything right now in the package, and you try to sell it, you'd be making about $530 off of eBay. Total retail is $395. Market value says it's $930. So it's crazy, the prices on these things. And I do feel like it's going to come down at some point. I think it's just a rush to buy it. And then at some point when everything cools, it's going to cool too. My 2 cents.
The thing about those is, I'm excited to have something to chase again, because we didn't have that for a long time. And now we've got something new to chase that's not normal.
You didn't have something to chase. I did.
Yeah. Now I have something to chase, and I love having something to chase. I love that feeling. I missed having that feeling of going into a Walmart, Target, and finding cool things.
Yeah, the tough one to find in Series 2 is going to be that Sabine TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
I think.
But you know what? I've got,
What?
There's people that have said, it's yours when I find it. So hopefully I've got enough network of, I sound like a big shot, but I've just got friends that have been like, hey, it's yours if I find it.
Yeah, and if you find 2, geez,
Yeah.
don't forget me.
No, but that's a ship I've been wanting for a minute. I did see Second Chance had and they were only asking like 15. I think they had the normal TIE Fighter and a normal X-Wing. And they either had the Razor, no, they had the Millennium Falcon, and they were wanting $15 on the X-Wing and TIE Fighter, and I think maybe 30 on the Falcon.
Mhm.
So they were wanting below retail on that stuff, which kind of surprised me, which I was like, good on them for not asking, an exorbitant amount for those.
All right. We
Okay.
good?
Yeah, I'm good. Which, so is the A-Wing, Herrera A-Wing, is that a chase too?
Yeah, that's a chase.
Damn it.
And I think Blue Squadron X-Wing is a chase as well, if I remember right. Doing this by memory. And Orion's not in the chat to let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
All right.
you have fun in Cincinnati.
You have
and,
fun in Miami.
Yeah.
Does your wife listen to this podcast?
No.
All right, good. No,
Why?
because when you were saying that we're going to Disney World and
she knows
maybe,
my joke. She knows my joke.
okay, I want to go to Mickey's Runaway Railroad, which just happens to be across the street from Galaxy's Edge.
No, I was teasing everyone like, you haven't been on Runaway Railway. We need to go to Hollywood Studios.
Dude, somebody posted a 4-hour wait for Rise, so ouch.
Yeah, when I checked it the other day, it was down. But anyways, thank you for listening to the Smugglers Galaxy podcast. If you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review of the show anywhere you listen to your podcast. If that's allowed, we really appreciate that. And it really helps us out. It points people to our show. Sorry, I was reading comments again. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Send us an email or message us. We love feedback, and we'd love to make you part of the show. Thank you, Tony. Our email address is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. Thank you. Thank you, Alfonso. I can say thank you to you right now for the Smugglers Galaxy logo and for all the work that you do putting in those images every week. We really appreciate that. You can find him at Puerto Rico Star Wars on Facebook, and you can also listen to his podcast in Espanol, Rock the Force, a Puerto Rican podcast about Star Wars. And thank you to Levi Waterhouse for the Smugglers Galaxy music. Hasbro, re-release VC66. Hashtag vote with your wallet. Pass on what you've learned. Be a positive force in the collecting community. This is the way.
This is the way.
Creating tension. Just felt like adding that.